your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, good evening to you. A very calm night once again. Lots of sunshine, comfortable temperatures out there, but it has been a little bit warmer than what we've been used to here as of late. Temperatures today back into the upper 70s. If you think today was warm, just wait until what we've got in store for you tomorrow. As we're hitting the mid-80s, it will feel like summer again this weekend. Tonight, great evening out there, nice and clear. We've got thunderstorms to also tell you about in the forecast. We'll share when that arrives when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts
now on WCIA 3 News.
They're marching throughout the streets of Decatur while remembering Breonna Taylor isn't the only reason they're out here tonight.
Our tuition dollars go to these companies that invest in these human rights violations.
Student leaders passed a resolution to try and cut ties with them, while U of I officials aren't supporting it.
Cases continue to rise, which Illinois counties are now at warning level for COVID-19.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
I'm hoping it brings peace.
People in Decatur are marching in honor of Breonna Taylor. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. Former Louisville officer Brett Hankison was charged with wanton endangerment for shooting into another apartment, but he and two other officers involved in the raid were not charged in Taylor's death. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays is live in Decatur tonight. So, Jamie, tell us what's happening right now.
Right, Paul, people who are here say they don't think Breonna Taylor was given the justice she deserves. They plan to continue marching and saying her name so she's not forgotten. They're walking throughout downtown Decatur. Organizer Jay Boatman says he wants someone to be held responsible for Taylor's death. He wants harsher charges for the officers who were involved. And this march was a way for the community to come together to push for change.
I just couldn't take another moment and sit there and not do something about it. So I decided on the same day that we got the verdict to plan a march. It was important to us because her life mattered, Black lives matter, our lives mattered, and it just was something that we needed to be done.
This march is also remembering the lives of people who have lost their lives to gun violence and the importance of voting. Boatman says to him and to others who are involved in this protest, they want it to remain peaceful so that Breonna Taylor is remembered and her life is honored. Live in Decatur, Jamie Mays, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jamie, thanks, and we want to apologize if anybody's signing profanity on any of those signs. A resolution passed by U of I student government is causing division, but the writers say that wasn't their intention. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting joins us live in the newsroom tonight. So, Courtney, what exactly is the issue here?
Well, Paul, Jewish student groups on campus say it puts them in a tough spot. The resolution is basically a list of groups, both nationally and internationally, that the university invests in, which the authors believe they should stop supporting. But some feel there were contradictions.
Also, further as university students, right, like our tuition dollars go to these companies that invest in these human rights violations.
That's what Buthena Hattab says her goal was when she wrote a resolution. It asks the university to stop giving money to certain companies and departments, which she feels violate human rights.
Reinvesting the millions of dollars that go to go to this university police, reinvesting it into counseling services, racial and social justice that can happen like on campus and in the local community.
The resolution includes companies involved in providing weapons for the Israeli-Palestinian conflicts. But Jewish student groups say the resolution puts Jewish students in a tough spot because it lumps a lot of separate issues together.
It conflates the Israeli-Palestinian conflict with racial equality in the United States. Our Jewish students on campus have a deep connection to the state of Israel. They have family living there. They have, this is basically their ancestral homeland. And to be in a situation where they need to choose between that connection and the connection that they have with black students on this campus is an impossible situation to be in.
Chancellor Robert Jones says he also doesn't support the resolution, saying, quote, "It is unfortunate that a resolution was designed to force students who oppose efforts to divest from Israel to also vote against support for the Black Lives Matter movement."
U of I police say they also support the chancellor's response, but for now, they want to give students the chance to be heard without interjection from the U of I Police Department. Live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA3, your local news leader.
All right, Courtney, thanks. We have an update in the House investigation into comments attempts to bribe Speaker Michael Madigan. In a letter submitted late today, the Speaker declined an invitation to testify before the House Special Investigative Committee. Governor Pritzker has called on Madigan to answer questions about ComEd's confession. In his letter, Madigan denied any wrongdoing and said if anyone at ComEd ever tried to bribe or influence him, they, quote, would have failed miserably. The committee has the power to issue a subpoena and force Madigan to testify, but that would require at least one Democrat to vote in favor of a subpoena. ComEd executives have agreed to testify under oath before the committee Tuesday in Springfield. Macon County is now in the warning zone. The county health department said today if the coronavirus numbers get much worse, there could be big problems. WCIA3's Cole Hankey is live at the Illinois Department of Public Health. So, Cole, what put them over the edge?
Well, the two risk factors that put them into warning level were the number of cases per 100,000 people and the number of deaths per week, which increased almost 20% each of the past 2 weeks. Now, just because the county is at warning level doesn't mean more restrictions are coming right away. For the state to step in like it has in other parts of the state, the entirety of Region 6 would have to reach the danger zones. But County Health Administrator Brandy Binkley says that they are ready to do what they can to keep numbers down.
We don't want to have to issue more mitigation measures on these businesses that have already been negatively impacted, so that would not be the goal. But I think if it got to that point, that we would all do what we had to do.
The county health department is already taking complaints about businesses who are not following public health guidelines, and in a couple cases even issued cease and desist orders to those businesses that did not cooperate. But they have no plans to ramp up those restrictions going into this warning level period. Two regions already saw increased COVID restrictions, that being the Region 4, which includes the Metro East region, and Region 7, which is made up of Will and Kankakee counties. The rules said no more indoor seating at restaurants and decreased capacity limits inside to 25% of normal capacity. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Hankey, WCIA3, your local news leader.
All right, Cole, thanks. Now, of the 17 counties now on the state's COVID warning list, there are several from central Illinois, including Cass, Christian, DeWitt, Macon, and Menard counties. The state is reporting just over 2,500 new cases. That makes more than 283,000 infections diagnosed overall. The 7-day positivity rate's gone up to 3.6%. There are 25 more deaths. More than 8,500 people total have died in Illinois from the virus. Early voting is underway in Vermilion County, and some voters are concerned about their safety casting a ballot. The county clerk's office saw record numbers of votes cast yesterday, but some voters aren't wearing masks. The clerk said while they have the guidelines in place, they need to accommodate people as much as possible. All right, we have an issue with the sound there. So the clerk's office says aside from the mask mandate, social distancing is being enforced, and plexiglass will separate voters from the county judge, and voters who are considering dropping off mail-in ballots are encouraged to do so as soon as possible. Here's a follow-up now. Danville City Hall will reopen Monday. The building was closed after several employees tested, or after a couple employees rather, tested positive for coronavirus. Now, all employees who have been exposed are being tested. City Hall has been operating remotely since last Wednesday. A group rallied outside the Capitol today with one message: let us see our loved ones.
It is our feeling that we don't want to turn people away that don't want to wear a mask because they have a right to vote as well.
That was the wrong sound there. That was from the county clerk's office. Now, this group that was rallying at the Capitol wants the governor to loosen restrictions on assisted living facilities to allow a couple family members to see their loved ones. Current restrictions allow for outdoor visits, but they don't allow for physical interactions with the people staying there. Now, it's a time to stand tall. We'll tell you who is showing their pride all weekend long. Also tonight.
I think it's important for community members to show their support.
Some students are stepping up to protect the planet. We'll tell you how they're trying to get everyone involved on a global climate action day.
And let's recap today with our temperatures that made it up to 81. Yeah, back above normal. Nailed that low right there at 50 degrees. When we come back, we're talking about a warm Saturday. We'll let you know when that rain moves in. Then we've got to talk about a big temperature drop. That's coming up next.